What is going on, everybody? Today we are analyzing tape of Derick Hall, the second round pick of the Seattle Seahawks. To me, this is one of those guys that has a lot of upside to become a really good player. Now, unfortunately for him, there's been two things that have kind of worked against him. And I think these are the two reasons why he hasn't had a lot of success yet. First and foremost, he's been limited in his snaps. Only 116 snaps over the first 5 games. That's just not a whole lot of snaps. In order for a guy to have success, you got to have the snaps to be able to kind of have the opportunities to have success. Now, the other thing that's worked against him, and this plays a great example of that, is that he's played experienced quarterbacks. He's played Matthew Stafford. He's played Jared Goff. He's played Joe Burrow. These are the type of quarterbacks that when they get the ball, they're going to take their 1, 2, 3 step drop, look to the first read. If it's open, they're going to get the ball out. And this is a great example of Burrow kind of doing that. And right there is kind of the issue for a guy like Derick Hall. In 3 of the 5 games, he's played experienced quarterbacks. And experienced quarterbacks don't get sacked the same as non-experienced quarterbacks. So ultimately, he wasn't able to really get the sacks in a couple of these games. But there's definitely some flashes on tape that I've seen. So we're going to get into that very fired up for. Let's get right into it. Check this play out. The running back's going to run out to the flat. If you watch the defensive end here, he's going to simulate pressure. And then he's supposed to drop off and pick that up. And on this one, he's going to be just a second too slow. And the running back picks up about 7 yards on this one. But to me, this is part of what the Seahawks have to continue to do, right? This is the first time Derick Hall did this in this season. So as he's going to develop, he has to actually go out there and run these concepts. He has to go out there and actually practice it, right? He needs to figure out how much he can get upfield in terms of depth before he has to drop off, which will allow him to cover the running back out of the backfield, right? Because had the quarterback not gotten the ball out on this one, this could have been a sack or quarterback hit, right? It's a design play in which you're simulating pressure to get pressure off the other side. And this is one of those learning moments for a second round pick, right? So I wanted to just kind of state that on this one. Let's go ahead and get to the next snap. Check this play out. Watch Derick Hall slant towards the inside. And he's going to be the guy that kind of makes this play. Now, the running back does pick up about 2.5 yards. And it would have been ideal if he was able to wrap the running back up and not let the running back fall forward. But he does still make the play. And I like the fact that as he slants here, he's going to ultimately throw off this offensive tackle. Really displaces him here and is able to get through the gap and at least make the play, right? If the running back gets out of here freely, this play picks up a lot more yards if you guys ask me. So good job by the defensive end to ultimately make the play on the running back. Let's go ahead and get to the next snap. Check this next play out. You got Derick Hall going up against Evan Neal, a former first-round pick. And Hall's going to do a pretty good job generating some pressure on this one. The quarterback has to kind of step up, and he just gets the ball out, and it does get tipped up by the defensive lineman, Mario Edwards Jr. It's a pretty nice job on this one. I love the fact that he's going to get right into the chest here of the right tackle, and he just gets physical with this offensive tackle. I love the fact that he's going to get the hands right to the inside. Oftentimes, the way to bull rush properly is to get the hands to the inside and just kind of get underneath these offensive tackles. And Hall does a good job getting off the block. To me, this is a hold on the right tackle. And it's obviously missed, but it is still pressure. So in that aspect, this is still a really nice play by Hall. These are the type of things that, to me, are starting to flash a little bit on tape. I felt like over the past 2 to 3 weeks, he's looked better than the first and second game, and I think that's been clear on tape. Check this play out. You're going to get an interception on this one by Daniel Jones. And it's going to be Derick Hall who's going to get the hit on the quarterback. To me, this is such a nice job by Hall. Keep in mind, the defense is running a defensive line game. So this is a long developing play for Hall. The defensive lineman here is going to really slant hard here to the B gap. Hall's going to come off the edge and slant back towards the inside. And one of the things with these plays is if the offense calls man blocking, which looks like it is some sort of man concept here, that means that the right tackle has to be able to not only get out to Hall because he's lined up so far to the outside, but then he has to be able to match the speed. And most tackles don't match speed with defensive ends. It just doesn't happen, especially with a guy like Hall. And you can see that he's going to get a hit on the quarterback as soon as the quarterback looks to throw the ball. And with that hit, in my opinion, right there, is what changes the trajectory of this pass. And just like that, you get an interception. Keep in mind, this was a 17-point game at this point, so the game was probably over. But if the Giants were going to come back, this was the moment for them to come back. And Hall basically ended that. So that's a really nice job by the edge player. Let's get into the next snap. Check this next play out. Hall's going to do a really nice job with the effort. And I oftentimes say this, the guys that give the most effort are the guys that are going to have the most success in the NFL, especially at the defensive line position. Great job to chase the quarterback and ultimately hit him as he's trying to get the ball out. And this one right here goes down as a quarterback hit for Hall. So that's a really nice job to be able to chase it down. Make sure the quarterback doesn't take off running. And then, of course, gets a really, really nice hit. Let's get into the next snap. Here's another really nice job by Derick Hall. He's going to control the tight end on this one and ultimately make the play. Just a really, really nice job being able to get off the block and stop the running back for a gain of about 2.5 yards. Really, really nice job. Love the hand placement on the tight end here. Really controls this guy. Gets off the block at the end of this. And this is exactly what you want to see, man. Get off the block after you control a guy and make the play. So that's a really, really nice job right there. Let's go ahead and get to the next snap. So you got an interesting play on this one. Derick Hall isn't going to generate pressure to the quarterback, but he's going to do the next best thing, which is he's going to get his hands out there and ultimately he's going to break the pass up. It's a pretty nice job to be able to recognize that the quarterback's trying to get the ball out. Of course, I do want to talk about this play a little bit because the right tackle here does something interesting. If you guys look at the right tackle, he's going to change his pass setup. Instead of getting vertical, he's going to fake like he's getting vertical and then he's going to go directly towards 58. And that's a different type of pass set than what the general offensive tackle does. And the point of this is to kind of keep the defensive ends guessing. And ultimately this works because not only do you surprise Hall on this one, but he doesn't really have an answer in terms of his pass rush. Right? He doesn't really know how to get past this. And I point this out because this will be one of the teaching points for Hall. This is going to be one of those things where he'll have to just develop and get better at over time. When guys are coming at you and they change their pass sets out, how do you react to that? How quickly do you process that? Right, so just a learning rep on this one. Just wanted to point it out. Let's go ahead and get to the next snap. You got another really, really nice rep here. Once again, Derick Hall's going to beat the left tackle on this one. And he's going to get a hit on the quarterback. Just a really nice explosive rep out of his stance. To me, this is what I want to continue to see from Derick Hall. Explode out of his stance. Make really nice contact here. He's going to once again try to long arm. He doesn't land it perfectly, but he does do a nice job adjusting and kind of gets the tackle off balance and he is able to hit the quarterback. That's a really, really nice job by Derick Hall on this one. It does pick up 15 yards. This was 2nd and 20. But the quarterback gets the ball out fairly quick if you guys ask me, right? 1, 2, 3. And he's able to go from his first read back over to the second one. And it is interesting because Hall is technically the only guy that actually hits the quarterback. So it's a pretty nice rep. Let's get into the next snap. You got another pretty nice rep here by Hall. He's going to hezzy on the right tackle on this one. He's going to get right into him, but he does get doubled, so he doesn't technically get any sort of pressure on the quarterback. But still a pretty nice job with the move. One of the things that I look for when I watch certain guys is how do they move? How do they handle themselves as they make contact? How do they engage and disengage? How are they as defensive ends? Because over time, these are the moves that you're going to fine tune. Right? These are the little things that get better and better and better over the seasons. And if you're doing a good job now, it's going to translate when you're in year 3 and you've played 900 snaps. All right, keep in mind, he's only played 116 snaps so far through week 5. So expect Derick Hall to continue to develop and continue to get better and continue to fine tune some of these things right here. I do want to show you guys a couple more snaps before we end this video. There's a couple of snaps that stuck out to me from weeks 1 and 2. Let's go ahead and get into those next. You got a pretty nice snap here by Hall. He's going to hold his block here against the right tackle. Does a good job keeping the left arm free here as he does. And he does do a good job getting off the block and ultimately makes the play. This one only picked up 1 yard. So this is a really, really nice rep by Hall defending the run. I think a big question mark that a lot of people had was, what type of run defender will Derick Hall be? Especially since he isn't the biggest defensive end, right, from a weight perspective. But I think he's definitely going to translate, and you can see plays like this where he's able to hold his ground. Pretty nice job. Let's get into the next snap. This one's a really, really nice job against a really, really good offensive tackle. Keep in mind, this is Penei Sewell, who has moved over from the right tackle to the left tackle spot. But this is a clean-ass move, if you guys ask me. Very, very nice job. He's going to hezzy, and the hezzy's going to turn into a long arm, and he's going to bring the arm over the top, and he hits the quarterback. Just a beautiful play. This reminds me so much of former Raider Khalil Mack. This was one of his go-to moves his first year in the NFL. Hezzy right away to kind of keep the offensive tackle guessing. Gets the left hand right into the shoulder pad and just kind of uses that leverage against the tackle. You can see this tackle really gets stood up. As soon as the left hand lands, the tackle goes from being in a pretty good spot and he instantly gets lifted upwards. That's a really nice job right there by Hall. And with that, he's able to bring the arm over the top and he gets to the quarterback. That's what I want to see. And keep in mind, I did make the point earlier that in weeks 1 and 2, he did play a combination of Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff. And those two guys are smart quarterbacks that get the ball out quickly, which does impact the stats and the opportunities that Hall may have. You got a zone run to the right of your screen, which means all of these offensive linemen are going to block down to the right. And Hall has the responsibility of being the backside gap. And he's going to do a really, really nice job making sure he has the backside gap. And he blows this play up. This play actually picks up no yards. Hall is all over it. This is exactly how you want to play it, especially if you know you don't have to contain the outside, right? Because on this play, keep in mind, there was a chance that the quarterback does keep the ball and kind of come around over here to the left. And if that happened, well, then Hall would have technically guessed this play wrong. But he does do a nice job. Maybe he understands the depth that the offensive linemen take. Maybe he recognizes that Penei Sewell is going forward as opposed to sideways, which is different. If this was a play action, right, Sewell wouldn't get as much depth as opposed to a run in which he'll get a little bit more depth. So maybe he felt comfortable going at the running back. Maybe his responsibility was the running back. Either way, he does a really nice job playing this one. And this one's ultimately going to pick up no yards. This was 1st and 10. So really, really nice job. Let's get into the next snap. You got another really, really nice rep by Derick Hall against Penei Sewell once again. He's going to hezzy, and this time he's going to hit an inside move. And he's going to ultimately get double teamed on this one. And he does generate a little bit of pressure. You guys can see on this one, the tight end picks a pretty nice amount of yards. But again, Hall does a pretty good job with the pass rush move. All right, I love the hezzy move. I love the fact that he's trying to set this tackle up with these different type of moves. He's going to hit him with an inside move. And this is a really, really good tackle, right? Arguably a top 2 or 3 tackle in the NFL. And Hall's able to hit the inside and get that inside leverage. To me, this is a winning rep by Hall. Now, the guard here does do a great job helping Sewell on this one, but there may not always be help, right? So just kind of keep that in mind. It's a pretty nice job. Let's wrap this video up with a couple more snaps here from week 1. Keeping in mind, this guy's a rookie, right? Week 1 is going to be his worst game of the season, and then the most recent game is going to be his best game of the season. But this was a pretty nice job recognizing the play. He sees it, but he isn't able to necessarily make the play. But it's still a nice shot, right? He's still disruptive within the play. He still gets upfield. He still is able to see that the end round's coming. And he is right there, right? So that's a pretty nice shot by Hall. Would have been better if he made the play, but still recognition is a part of development. Let's get into the next snap. Alrighty, guys. So there you guys have it. Final play here. Pretty nice job taking on the block. Nothing major, right? Just a normal average play as a defensive end. Great effort, right? Great effort. Love the effort. I think we've seen this on tape now 3 or 4 different times. So you can definitely come away with the fact that this guy plays with high energy. And ultimately, I think that right there, mixed in with his pass rush moves that he does have, very fast, very quick, very explosive first step. Putting all of this together, I think this guy's going to be a very good pass rusher in the NFL. I think this is a guy that's going to play 10 years in the NFL. And it may take him until year 3 for it to really click. But he's still a fairly young player. He's only 22 years old right now. The upside for a Derick Hall is through the roof. And never forget, he's only played 116 snaps in the NFL. This guy's going to be a completely different player at his 900 or 2000th snap in the NFL. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, consider subscribing. And I will see you guys next time with another video.